What's up, everyday blades? Man, in my collecting time, I have hit hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pawn shops. And I found some really cool knives. I found a lot of regular knives. I found some knives I made a little money on. This has got to be the coolest knife I found yet. Also, I'm really surprised I've never seen this knife before. I mean, not only never found one to buy, I've never even seen one, didn't even know they existed. So I looked them up on YouTube, and there's some really old, like 13-year-old videos. So this knife is pretty old. This is a Benchmade. This is a monster Benchmade. This is the Benchmade Ruckus 610. And it is a beast. Let me show you how much of a beast this thing is. Let's put it up against another Benchmade, the Benchmade Bug Out. Look at that. I mean, this thing is a beast. Look at the spine thickness. It's got to be 0.19. It's a monster. So after seeing this in the display case with a bunch of CRKTs and, you know, the normal knives they have, this thing was dirty. I mean, it's been sitting a long time. It looked like a user. It was so dirty. It had dust bunnies on it. They wanted $575. I looked up on eBay. That's obviously where they got the price from, because that's what they're selling on there, or have sold on there for. Some of them more than that. So I went to haggling with them, and, you know, this is the way I get these knives. I never just walk in there and the price is $50 and thanks for coming and it's a miracle. It takes some work. I show them the original retail price, $200, and most pawn shops don't know that a lot of these knives increase in value once they're discontinued. So they assumed it's worth, you know, less than half the price. This pawn shop wasn't quite that naive, but I did get them down to $200, which was substantially cheaper than $575. I wouldn't have bought it at $5. I wouldn't have bought it at $4, but I really wanted it because you talk about a unique knife, and not only is it a big knife, it's a great knife. I mean, the action, I cleaned it up. The action was terrible when I got it. It was gritty. So it was dirty, like I said. It was dust bunnies, and the action was gritty, and I thought maybe it was a user, but I felt the blade, and it felt sharp, and I could tell it was a factory edge on it. But once I got it home and got it cleaned up and realized it's brand new. This knife, I don't think has ever even been carried. Hasn't been used. I mean, it slices through paper. It just rips through paper. It shaves. It's super, super sharp, and it's never been sharpened. It's S30V. I'm too blind to see the maker. I may do a more in-depth video on this, but I just wanted to show this kind of as pawn shop treasure, because every time I find something, I kind of show you guys. Put it up against another good size knife, good length knife, and this is the Medford Slim Midi Marauder. I mean, it just dwarfs it. But another thing about this knife that is awesome is the balance. It just feels really good in hand. Your fingers fall right where the finger choils is. And that is unique, because for me, a lot of times my fingers don't fall in those, and it makes the knife uncomfortable. But man, why they ever discontinue this knife, I'll never know. And if anybody at Benchmade by chance is listening, you need to make this knife again. This knife will sell. The scales are all micarta, all the way down. And of course, you know, the tried and true axis lock. I don't even think this thing is broke in yet. It's smooth as butter, but it's not dropped shut yet. It will be. It was just sitting. It just wasn't used. I went through all the inside. It shows no wear on the inside. There's no, you can tell where the phosphorus bronze washers are up against the scales on the inside. there was no wear. I couldn't even tell what side of the scale was the inside. You know, I don't know if you've ever taken apart a axis lock knife, but it's a little bit of a pain. And then, you know, trying to figure out which way the scales go when you put the axis lock back in there. I usually tell by the wear, the ring wear of the washer. This one didn't have that. I mean, just the slightest hint. So the knife was still new condition. I wish he had the box with it. Boy, that'd have really made it. But back when they made these, they didn't have the nice boxes they have today. They had a little thin cardboard blue box, and it's really hard for those things to survive that long. But this one is just a home run. Man, it's a shame there's not more of these around. This thing feels good in hand. But I'll probably do a more in-depth review with specs and everything. But let me see one other knife. I'm gonna get the biggest knife I got. The Boker Kalashnikov AK-74. Look, XXL. It's about the same size. The Boker's just a hair, maybe a hair bigger. But that tells you what a beast this Benchmade is. That big old thick spine, all that jimping. Man, love this knife. You'll be seeing more of this in the group. I'll be posting it, and I'm probably more than likely going to do an in-depth review and have the specs and weight and all that stuff. I just wanted to show you guys. I was excited. Got it home, got it cleaned up, and found out it's brand new and it's awesome. So the Benchmade Ruckus 610. Check it out. If you find one, scoop it up. You won't be disappointed. Guys, thanks for watching. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country. Good night.